Hey guys, Karibo Bros here. It's been about a week since Team Sam uploaded his hero deck profile, so if we upload ours now, we should still get some alright viewing figures on it. Anyway, it's Hero, it's 2021, and the deck's still fun. Ant's going to walk us through it. Go on.
Yeah, so this is one of my favourite decks, and I do really enjoy playing it. I've not played it as much recently just because I've just been trying other decks, but I think, oddly enough, even though this is like a trap format, this has some space in the format, just because Nibiru is not as popular, and when Nibiru was at its peak performance, this deck just couldn't compete, because as soon as you get Nibiru, you tend to just get blown out, and then there's not much resurgence. So I think with this format there is a place for it as well, and with it being heavy graveyard reliance as well, you know, Dark Law is just going to be amazing. So we'll just get straight into it. So we start with 3 Stratos. This is the heart and soul of the deck. It literally just like is so good. I personally don't like this card. I'm like quite an old school hero player who just likes summoning Dark Law. So sometimes when you don't get to a mass change, it really does hurt. But this is just overall consistency in the deck. So that's why we play 3. Moving on, we play 2 Shadow Mist. Again, it's a bit like Stratos in the fact that it can search a hero monster that's sent to the graveyard, and it can search mass change, but you can use 1 effect per turn. It's literally one of the best cards in the deck as well. There's, like, I'm gonna say that about a lot of cards because a lot of cards in this deck are really good, but Shadow Mist is the one that you really want a special, just so you can get your mass change to make Dark Law. And to facilitate that, we're playing 2 Solid Soldier. I bumped this up to from 1 to 2 just because I do want to see it, and I know we play like E-Call and Rotor as well, but it's just nice to have. It does extend your plays a lot more. And then for the last 2, we're playing Honest Neos and Liquid Soldier. These are the staple. These are just staple in the deck. You need to be playing these cards because well, talk about Liquid Soldier first. It just adds so much more versatility to your deck. There's so many more things you can do, and the draw effect's not too bad either. But what's nice about it as well is there are a lot of 2-card combos now because of this that make summoning Shadow Mist to get a mass change a lot more viable. And then we play the Honest Neos because we can go for game and we can protect our Dark Law, for example, from battle. So it's quite nice in that respect. So that's all the E heroes, and it's like an Omni hero deck. Moving on to the Vision heroes, we play 3 Faris. Perfect for this deck, absolutely amazing. Like, it's just so good. It adds so much power to this deck that you can't really complain. The fact that it just, like, it locks you into heroes, big whoop. It's like, you're not really bothered because it's a hero deck. So it's great. It gets you to this card, Increase, which activates as a trap. And this effect's actually like one of the most overlooked effects in this deck, is that you can do so many cool niche things where, like, you can attack and then get an extra like 2k on board by using this effect. In the battle phase, tribute a monster, summon Vion, send Shadow Mist, and then search. All in the battle phase, so you could search Honest Neos if you really wanted to, just to get game. So this is a very versatile card. It helps you dodge cards as well. And the fact that when you take any sort of damage effect or battle damage, you get it back from the graveyard as a continuous trap is really good. But the main key reason we play it is so we can get to this, which again is a combo starter in itself. It gets us access to polymerization, which is really power play in this deck now, that we tend to hold. We tend to hold if we want to like try and kill them after turn 1. But basically you're going to make a Sunrise anyway to make Miracle Fusion, then you hold the Miracle Fusion. So this card's just busted, and has been since it come out. When it's going to come back to 3, I don't know.
When is it coming back to 3?
When?
This is more likely to go to 1 than it is 3.
If it goes to 1, what on earth does this do? 1, I don't know. It needs to stay at 3. And I don't get why it can't stay at 3.
It's the only card at 2 at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't get why it can't stay at 3. Like, Heroes is one of the most beloved decks of like all across Yu-Gi-Oh era. Like, put it at 3.
We'd play this in Goki if we could at 3.
I mean, yeah, it just
If
adds
this came to 3,
consistency.
we'd end up playing Dark Refer and all sorts in Goki.
Yeah, Yeah, I know, but it adds consistency to this deck. It adds a lot of consistency to all the warrior-based strategies.
To be fair, having said that, we've not got any events, so they should just give it us for 3 for the one format where there's nothing being played.
Exactly. So that's it for the that's it for the multiples of Destiny Heroes anyway, and then we've decided to cut Celestial. Now Celestial was a great card when Gunblar was a thing because you could just loop your hand, throw it in the grave, draw, set, and then draw off Celestial and still be ahead in the game. Unfortunately, Gunblar's not a thing anymore. So
fortunately, Gunblar's not a thing anymore.
Celestial's a really bad card, like just so bad. Like it's too slow, and a lot of the time you're going to keep hand advantage, so you're never going to get to resolve it. So we just decided to play Plasma and Dynatag. Dynatag's just got a really good effect. Like if there are them times where you do have access to a poly, but you don't have access to Destiny Fusion, but you have drew some myriad of Destiny Hero cards, you can just hard make I forget what it's called. No, not Discommander. What was it called?
Dystopia?
Dystopia. I haven't played this deck in a while. So you can just hard make it, and it's actually still good because you still get the effect. So that's it for all the hero monsters, and that's, I can't remember how much that is, but a good amount of hero monsters anyway. The staple, the standard. For this format, we are playing 3 Ash and 3 Skullmeister. They're just the staple hand trap for this format. You can play Bell. Skullmeister I think is a little bit better, just because it's not once per turn. That's pretty much it. Bell's got a lot more applications about it, but it's once per turn. So if you draw multiples of these, it's not too bad. And you're always going to want to play 3 Ash anyway, just because it hits so many cards in the whole game. That's it for monsters. Moving on to the spells, we've got 3 Fusion Destiny, which is the best spell, if not the best card in this deck. A free special summon of the monster, discards, puts Mali in the grave, sets up, you know, it just gives you, it's just so much advantage. Letting this card resolve is probably the reason a lot of people will lose. But in that same token, that this is such the biggest bait card like this deck has. Like Ash in this is just no problem. I've got a Vion, I've got Faris, I've got Liquid Soldier to get Shadow Mist. You know, it's broken. Along with that, another Ash bait target for this deck is a Hero Lives. This card, like, we discuss this all the time, that Stratos should just go to 1 and this should go to 3, but, you know, you can't really let Stratos resolve because it's so good. So I think, as much as I hate it, this has to stay at 1 if Hero has to be a thing. So 3 equal, it's just another Rota, and the Rota. 3 Mass Change. Again, access to Dark Lord is imperative in this deck, so you just need to be playing 3, and then 2 fusion spells and a enough start. So what you might be thinking is, why the hell are you not playing the Adusted Gold package with Malicious Bane? Because you don't need it. I personally think it adds an unnecessary brick to the deck. It's only good going second, this deck, although it can go second with ease and play through a fair amount of hand traps and a fair amount of disruptions, Heroes always had a bad turn 1, like always. Like their turn 1 is Darklaw, and like if you weren't playing traps to help protect Darklaw, then it was useless. So to play more bricks in the deck essentially just makes no sense to me. That's my personal opinion. You can play them, but you know, I think this list is a lot more consistent without the Adusted Gold and the Fusion card. And it takes up 1 less space in your extra deck as well. And moving on to the extra deck, play Anki and 2 Darklaw. Staple for any hero deck. Darklaw is just ridiculous still to this day. I remember playing this when it first came out in the hero structure deck.
Hero Strike.
Oh my god, I got so much abuse for just keep playing this deck because it was just ridiculous, because people were trying to play zombies and locals and they couldn't. Anki, I think, will always have a place in this deck. Just because of its OTK potential. Like, it's just a nice toolbox card to have. You will very rarely go into it, but it is just nice when you do need it. And the fact that it's a 28 body that can attack directly for half damage, you can't really complain. For the next Masked Heroes, we are playing Acid, Diane, and Blast. Acid, again, is a staple. Diane and Ballast are not really staple, but they do help you avoid like cards like Effect Failure Impermanence. I know they're not very prevalent in the format, but there are still applications to play these. Like this can have an attack of a monster, I think. Yeah, and bounce a back row, and then this triggers Solid Soldier in the Grave. It's a special hero back, and the fact that it's can get you a Shadow Mist in the battle phase as well. It's kind of relevant, but they're just there to dodge effects. So that's it for the Master Heroes. Moving on to the Element Heroes is Sunrise and Absolute Zero. They're the two we play. There is an idea that you can play another E-Hero target to make Miracle Fusion live if you don't see Liquid Soldier, but it's very rarely you're not going to see it. I think the more cases that it doesn't come up than it does come up. You know, you can. I've tested this like a lot. This is like one of the decks I've put a lot of time into. I don't think it comes up enough to warrant an extra deck space, and you know it's quite tight anyway. This extra deck, so we're playing these. This blows up the board, and this searches a Miracle Fusion. This is also added protection for Darklaw as well, with second pop effect when a hero battles. So that's quite nice. For consistency issues, we are playing Dangerous. For the times that you do open Mali, you're going to just want to send another target and Shadow Mist off this, and then Shadow Mist add you Forest, and then discard your Mali and still play. So that's there just for like the times that you do brick. Not that it happens that much in this deck anymore without playing certain cards. Dystopia, again, broken. Just it's a free pop on your turn and throughout the game. Trinity. This will win you more games and it will lose you games for having a bland extra deck spot. Just the fact that you can just bully people's cards, especially like you can play around Conduct the Tyranno and then just drop this and just smack it in the face and throw it Honest Neos on top of it. You know, it's worth having in the extra deck just for them times. And the fact that it can board clear as well, it's nice to have. And I wouldn't take it out just for that reason. 2 Cross Crusader and the Wonder Driver and the Link 3 as well. This has to be it's played at 2 in this deck, otherwise you just literally have no kind of like follow-up play outside of Miracle Fusion. So that has to stay at 2. This and this are like kind of flex spots. I don't think you really need to play them, but they are nice to have again. And you'll find that in this deck a lot of it's like there's like I'd say 5 or 6 cards that you'll use every game, but like a lot of them are like toolboxy. So you don't really need to play them. There are other options. But this makes your Darklaw bigger, this makes all your heroes bigger, and keeps your Dystopia alive after you've used, what's the card called? The Dynasac, that's it. So it's kind of has its applications there, helps go to 30Ks with piercing damage as well. This is one of my favourite cards in the deck. Again, it's just because it lets you recycle your Darklaw, so you can double rip out with a Darklaw. So if they search twice, you can reset the mass change off this by summoning. You rip a card the Darklaw, and then you can do it again once they search. So it's quite nice in that respect. So yeah, that's it really. You know, heroes are on budgets. I wouldn't go as far to say that you can make this deck on a budget either, because it's just ridiculously expensive. But if you do have this deck, I would give it a try, this format, see what you think. I personally think it's got a space in the format. Darklaw just being such a prevalent card, and the fact that you can just OTK out of anywhere, with being a lot of slower formats as well, you are going to get that chance to win games. Right guys, like this is just like a quick combo like video, I guess, just of what hero can do with like 1 or 2 cards. So let's say Fusion Destiny, for example, you can activate it, and because we play Dangerous in the extra deck, we get to kind of make a cool play. So we can send Shadow Mist and Mali to summon out the Dangerous, and then we can not use Shadow Mist effect, but use Mali's effect to summon the other Mali. So I've got 2 warriors on field now already, off 1 card. I'm going to link summon the 2 of them into Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader will summon back a Mali. It doesn't really matter, Mali or Dangerous, just the Destiny hero. And you can just tribute it off. and add the Liquid Soldier, and then you can normal the Liquid Soldier and special back the Shadow Mist, and you can still special Darks, you just can't special anything else. So Shadow Mist will activate and add the mass change. So like there's not a lot you can do from here, but you've set up a Dark Lore off one card, which is really good. So what I do is I just probably link these two off for your Dread Decimator, and then just set the mass change, so that in your opponent's turn when they search, or like depending on what you're playing, you can just shotgun it in the standby phase. You can target the Shadow Mist, summon your hero Dark Lore. If they were searching, you could banish a card randomly from hand, and then you can search off the Shadow Mist. You can either search, like, depending on the situation, if you think that they can't beat over the Dark Lore, you would search Stratos for next turn, have a follow-up. Or if you thought that Dark Lore was still probably going to get beaten over, you could add the Neos. So that's just like a one card combo. Like the other card combo is, again, it's a similar ending board. Like Hero has the same kind of play line all the way through. Like it very rarely changes. It's like when you get to Cross Crusader, that's when it like starts to change and you make your mind up about doing things.
Before you carry on, it's important to point out you didn't use your normal summon there as well. So obviously you ended on the...
No. So Fusion Destiny is a free special summon, isn't it? So when I search Liquid Soldier, I can normal summon it and then special summon the Shadow Mist to get it to mass change.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So the next combo is again with Shadow Mist, but in our starting hand, and a Faris. So a bit similar, where we're going to go Faris effect to start the Shadow Mist summon. And we're going to go chain one, chain... no, we're not even going to activate this, sorry. We're just going to activate Faris just to activate the increase as a trap. And then we're just going to use increase to tribute Faris, summon, and then use the effect on summon to summon a Vion. And Vion will send a Malicious to the grave. And then we can banish the Faris to add the polymerization, wherever it is, and then we can link these two into Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader summon back the Destiny Hero Malicious, tribute to Dark, and again it's going to be very familiar because we're going to do sort of the same line of play, just with two different cards. If I can find the Liquid Soldier, there it is. Add the Liquid Soldier and then normal Liquid Soldier because I still haven't used my normal summon because I special summoned the Faris. Liquid Soldier to summon the Shadow Mist because I didn't add that fit, and then effects that add a mass change. So here I'm only locked into heroes now, so there's a lot you can do. Well, I say a lot. There's somewhat you can do here. So you can continue kind of like comboing off. So what you could do is, for example, you could use a Mali. So special another Mali, and then you could fusion into Sunrise, and then Sunrise effect to add the Miracle Fusion for next turn. And you wouldn't want to use it this turn because you're not going to get the draw. Let's say if they use your only two cards, you're not going to get the draw off Liquid Soldier. So like you could, so there is a line of play here. So you could activate this now and summon, but you're not going to get the draw, so you can keep it for next turn and just set the mass change and then just link these two off into the Wonder Driver, because you're not locked into Darks, you're only locked into heroes. It's the Fusion Destiny that locks you into Darks. So the next thing you can mass change here, so let's reset it and search. Or there's another line of play where you keep these two on field and this. So you've got this for next turn, you've set your mass change, and you just kind of commit to the fact that I'm going to get a search, someone in the Dark Lore. I'm going to get a search, and I'm going to have battle protection still from the Sunrise. So there's lots of possibilities, but they're just like like a 2-card combo with this, get you a Dark Lore, or like just Fusion Destiny by itself, get you a Dark Lore, which inevitably is the reason you play this deck is because of Dark Lore, because it's just so powerful, and it just absolutely rips so many decks apart, and you know, there's a lot of decks that just can't function under a Dark Lore, so they're just a 2-card combo and a 1-card combo that get you access to a Dark Lore going first.